Coast FM 963, you're on Raw Youth Disability Radio. We are still roving and reporting as part of the Sensory Solstice Fun Day with Vision Australia. Now, one of the activities that they've got on offer here today is we are at Baker Street today, the wonderful restaurant on, you guessed it, Baker Street, where Chef Dan is giving us a class on making pizza from scratch, rolling the dough and everything. Stephen Wheatley is our blind go-getter. He's going to be giving it a go. Hey, Steve, how are you feeling?
Well, I think this is probably going to be something interesting you'll probably have, boys, because there's probably not too many, if any, blind chefs out there. So I think it's going to be an interesting experience for all of us.
Well, the self-confessed blind Jamie Oliver, have you made pizza before?
Not from scratch like we are here, mate. I mean, usually I'm like most other people. I usually buy the bases from Woolies and just add my own toppings at home, so...
You and me both. Well, you'll be making a Woolies quality base. What are you going to top it with? What's the pizza going to be?
What I'm thinking is, guys, this is probably going to be the raw surprise pizza, so... There could be anything on it. I'm not going to tell you what it is, so I guess you'll just probably have to use your sensory and tastes at the end and be able to tell for yourself.
Beauty. Well, I'll let you get started, Steve, and we'll check in with you throughout the process of making this pizza. So, Steve, you've kneaded the dough. What's the next step you're doing now?
Okay, so the next thing what we're doing now is we're just doing some little tiny pokes just in the dough with this fork that I've got in my hand, and this is just to get some of the air out of the dough so that it doesn't go and when we put it in the oven create some bubbles, and we have a bit of a lumpy kind of dough pizza base.
Yeah, nice. And every chef, I've heard, every great chef has their own signature. What's yours that you're doing on the dough right now?
I don't really have one at the moment. At the moment, man, I'm just sort of doing some dots, and I'm sort of just doing them in an S at the moment, so we'll know it's my pizza that I've made.
Oh, good old S for Steve. Well, can't wait to see it come out of the oven.
We're doing our base first, so we get a little bit on because we don't want it to be too tomatoey.
I've got to say, very professional how you're spreading it around with the spoon there as well. It's like Stevie Oliver's in the house.
I'll try and do this in my best Jamie Oliver impression. So what we've done, so far we put a bit of the sauce on. Look at that nice, lovely red tomato sauce. And I've done something a bit different, haven't I? I've put a bit of pesto on there because Mama always did say you've got to eat your greens.
A bit of a cheeky, lovely, jubbly hybrid, isn't it?
It is. Now what we're just going to do, we're just going to take some little bits of ham there.
Oh, don't go ham with it.
Oh, I'm going ham all over this pizza.
Okay, so the pizza's all topped. What do you have to do now?
So now we're just going to take it over to Daniel, and then when it's cooked, we'll give the boys a bit of a blind taste test.
Bon appetit. Oh, Steve-o, nice and cheesy. Your pizza's just came out of the oven. What do you think of that?
Yeah, we've got the nice line markings and everything. Well, we'll even get a bit of a screenshot, or a photo, of the pizza for anybody who wants to check out the photos on Facebook.
I can tell you something right now. That is a cheesy volcano, and the cheese has got that spottage on it that you expect from professional pizza shop. So, Steve-o, I reckon you've done a really, really nice job. It looks great. All sliced up. We've got the finished product here in front of us of Steve's special pizza. So we have a base of... Well, you tell us what's on the top of it. Do you remember?
I can tell you what's on the top of it, mate, but I tell you what, I'm going to give you these right now because it is going to be a bit of a blind taste test, being that we are here at Baker Street, and this is the Sensory Solstice Fun Day, and it is all about people with vision impairment and who are also blind, and being able to do most regular things on a daily basis and how we can adapt things with their senses. So I guess right now you're going to be using your senses to be able to take a guess of what you think's on the pizza.
Got my simulation glasses on right now. And
so if you like, I can hold that microphone for you.
Oh yeah, thanks, Steve-o.
So that's okay.
Yeah,
so
I can't see a thing right now.
That's okay. Yep, he's got his glasses on, ladies and gentlemen, that he had while he was on the bike. So yeah,
Ooh.
Yep.
That's all you want, Steve. That's not bad at all. That's really nice.
Not too bad.
I'll tell you what, I know that you put olives on there. I've never been an olive guy, but today's all about trying new things, and I'll tell you what, I actually really, really like that.
So I've managed to convert you to olives, maybe?
Well, you know what? I won't stray away from them as much as I used to. All around, very nice. They're applauding you right now.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'd like to get your star rating after James tries his piece.
Okay, James is going to give it a go now.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of cheese there, which is very good. Olives, like I'm not really big olive person, but yeah, the olives blend it well as well. And I also like the pesto as well, like the pesto and tomato base.
Okay, so let me ask, out of 5 stars, so like 5 star is like really good Italian restaurant quality pizza, and 1 star would be like, let's say Domino's.
I got to say, being my first time eating pizza prepared by a blind master chef, that's a 5-star performance from you, Stephen Wheatley, right there.
I think that could be a bit biased, but you know what? I'll take it. James, your thoughts?
Well, I'd say 4.5.
You know what? That's not too bad. That's actually not too bad because that's a bit of a room for improvement.
Yeah. You're always going to need like room for improvement no matter what you do, so don't want to be perfect on your first try.
I'll definitely actually take that, guys, because I actually just remembered there was actually probably one other thing I probably maybe actually could have added there at the start, but I won't say what it is. But you know what? I'll take those 4-star reviews because that's true. That's actually, and I definitely would agree. I agree with you, James, because sometimes you do need to add a bit of. There's always room for improvement, as they say. So anyway, we're reporting here from Baker Street, and we'll talk to you soon.
Get stuck into your pizza, Steve. You've earned it. Coast FM 963, you're on Raw Youth Disability Radio. We're still roving and reporting here at Baker Street, the wonderful restaurant on, you guessed it, Baker Street in Gosford. We are here as part of the Sensory Solstice Fun Day with Vision Australia, taking part in a cooking class aimed at people with visual impairments. Joining me right now for a quick chat is the chef in question, Chef Daniel. How are you today?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks so much for bringing us into your humble restaurant to give cooking classes a go. So what exactly are you guys making firstly here?
Well, today what we're making is a pizza. So just a basic, normal pizza, but how you could actually achieve these pizzas at home and not have to worry about having a $30,000 pizza oven, right? But also making sure that we get the same quality no matter what your disability is.
And so the class you're running here today is specifically aimed at people living with visual impairments, making a pizza from scratch with rolling the dough and everything. How are you sort of catering to this sort of demographic today?
Well, it's basically really based on making sure we use our senses and making sure we use all our other senses but sight. Because a lot of chefs and a lot of people say about chefs is how can you cook blind? How can you do this, and know that you've got the grill on and the pizza's in the oven and you're making something or whatever it might be. And it really comes down to actually understanding that you can do it just by understanding a few small techniques, like feeling mushroom or understanding what tomato feels like, or stretching out the dough, for example, using what I call the karate method. The karate chop method, which is along the pinky, all the way down to the wrist, and stretching out the dough and circling it around.
Oh, there you go. I had no idea about that technique either, so I'm learning something new here today. So tell us all about the process from start to finish that each participant has gone through today with making their pizza.
So everyone arrived, they found their seat, and then I got them up off their bums. Of course, we need to use a little bit of body weight, making sure we understand how to stretch out the dough, which is really important. And the recipes will be delivered to everybody through Visions Australia, which is pretty cool as well. And then what we're going to do is, once everything gets done, the really important thing is you've got to stretch out the pizza, bring it in, put it in the oven at about 240 degrees without anything on it and some fork marks through it, right? So making sure there's holes in it so it doesn't puff up. But really important, that technique is to make sure that that dough gets really cooked, and it kind of gives you that little bit of a turbocharge before you kind of finish off your pizza. And then comes out of the oven, you put your sauce, you put your cheese, you put everything on it, and of course then you put it back in the oven a few more minutes and you've got a really beautiful dough. The cool thing about doing it like this is you can make a dozen of these pizza bases, have them in Ziploc bags, Glad wrapped, and in the freezer, ready to go, and you will get the same beautiful pizza every single time you do this.
Now, you've been handling all of the pizzas coming in and out of the oven today from all the participants. Tell us about some of the creations you've seen today. The toppings were provided on the table. Were there any interesting combinations or any that you thought to yourself, that looks amazing?
Well, one of the beautiful things about doing classes like this is you have around about 6 different ingredients. And out of those 6 different ingredients, every single pizza looked, smelt, and probably would have tasted completely different. Not one of them looked bad. and some of them just look so juicy and fluffy, and some of them were slightly flat. And it's the beautiful part about pizza is no matter how many times you make it, it's always going to be different.
Rustic cooking, am I right?
That's correct. Always keeping it fresh, keeping it simple, keeping it easy, and that's the great Italian way.
That's the way to go. Bellissimo, I got to say, Chef Daniel. Thanks so much for having
Before
us.
we actually go,
Oh, yeah?
Angus, I actually have one last question. Chef Daniel, I'd actually be honoured actually if you actually were to try a sample of my pizza as a bit of a blind taste test.
Definitely, 100%. I'm down for that.
Oh, I had a feeling you were saving a slice for a reason there, Steve-O.
I was, mate, because I actually wanted to, because I'm all about getting reviews and other ways of opinion and to improve my cooking for future. So you guys have tried it, so now I want to hear it from the man himself who's taught us everything about making pizza from scratch today.
What sort of rating are you aiming for from him?
Any rating or review, or just any maybe things maybe he can maybe give me for the future, like maybe less sauce, maybe less cheese, maybe anything, maybe.
Well, here we go. Chef Daniel's going to try Steve-O's blind pizza.
Steve-O, first of all, it looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Probably a little bit too much cheese for me.
That's fair.
I'm not a very cheesy kind of guy, but I can't wait to dig into it.
Bite taken.
You put basil in it.
I did. Well, no, pesto, sorry.
Basil pesto, yeah. A little bit of surprise of basil pesto really kind of makes the cheese a little bit less cheesy, which is really, really good.
Hey.
Good job for your first time.
Well, there you go. Steve's surprise lived up to its name. He wasn't expecting the pesto.
How would you give that out of a 5-star rating, Chef Daniel, compared from like your restaurant here to like maybe a McCain pizza from Woolworths or something?
All I could probably say is you want an apprenticeship?
I would love one.
Well, there you go. Steve-O's got a full-on job out of this day. It's been a bellissimo time. Chef Daniel, thanks so much for having us to take part in this cooking class.
Thank you. Absolute pleasure having you guys, and hope to see you guys more often.